Um, and theater.
Yes.
Theater's another one of my favorite things at Gateway. They put on two, we'll say like big performances every year. A play,
Yeah.
and then also kind of like your variety show style, just evening of entertainment.
Yeah.
Did you participate in both? I know you did.
I did the second one.
Okay.
All I remember is that because I did like a stunt performance thing, and from what I think from what I was told, that was like the first time anyone had, like, that was the first year they had done stuff like that.
Okay.
I think
sweet.
it was.
What was the play that you were in?
The plays or the variety show stuff?
Plays.
So I did Robin Hood my freshman year, and then I did A Midsummer Night's Dream my sophomore year.
Very cool. And what did that do for you? Like, what drew you to the theater?
So I was always a behind-the-scenes guy. So movies has always been my thing. That's actually the career I'm going after now.
Okay.
But what was interesting is, again, like I just mentioned, I was always behind the scenes. I was always wanted to be behind the camera, doing all the, the production stuff. So my freshman year, there were no opportunities for that. So it was Miss Hoster teaching that year. This is before I think she had went to Africa.
And she's back, by the way.
Huh? Oh, no, I know. I visited last year and I reconnected there. No, but so I was encouraged. I don't want to say pushed. I was encouraged to audition. By encouraged, I mean, I was like, you should really do this. You should just give it a try.
It was a high recommendation.
Yeah, very high recommendation.
Was this by your, like, teachers or parents? Who was doing?
No, it was Miss Hoster.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And Miss Sanson, actually, too, because I think Miss Sanson had just started that year.
Okay.
Initially, I hated that I was pushed to do it. But now, looking back at it, had they not have done that, I probably would not have found one of the biggest passions in my life and what I'm actually trying to do as a whole career path.
Yeah, so like, in my mind, that's like a huge, not only like gave you some experience that you were a little nervous about attempting.
Yeah.
Pushing you just outside that comfort zone.
Oh, absolutely.
But not so far out this can be overwhelming. Like they saw that it was there.
Yeah.
But then the confidence building
comes
along with the process of performing on a stage.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm a super fan. So how did that work for you? Like, do you remember some of those rehearsals or how that kind of grew?
The rehearsals weren't bad because, again, there's no one really in the audience. It's just, a few sound guys,
right?
Sometimes peers, but you'd see the sound. Most of the time, there'd be lights in your face, so you couldn't see anything.
Okay.
But we'd be rehearsing for hours and hours, and even so, there were times where I was like, I don't know if I got this. And this is also the first one I did was Robin Hood, so I had a smaller part, and I was still very new, stage direction, knowing how to stand. Me being neurodivergent, I would always get fidgety. So it was very nerve-wracking.
So you had to build some almost like self-discipline during those rehearsals.
It wasn't even that. It was like, even the night of the performance, when we had the final play, I still had second thoughts. And then I just had to get on stage. Everything just naturally kind of came out. And then I just rolled with it. And I'm like, wow. I felt really good. I definitely had that confidence booster after that, to where the year after, I auditioned for the Midsummer Night's Dream play. I wanted to audition for a much bigger role.
Yeah.
It's also because we watched the movie and I wanted to play Christian Bale's character. But nonetheless, it was still a very good experience.
Aspirations, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Get after it. Okay. I love that, dude. I did a little theater in high school. Little bit of acting, but I was very much behind the scenes.
Right.
But even, again, my experience was a little different. But I love the arts.
Oh, no.
And I love
absolutely.
the community of lots of people working together for this thing, and everyone has a role.
Mm-hmm.
And for it to go smoothly, everyone's got to be on the same page, and that just requires a lot of effort and
Well,
lot of practice, rehearsal, and
what I learned going into my field is, even if, as a director, if acting is not your specialty or vice versa, it's important to learn that, so it's very easy for you to put yourself in the other person's shoes.
Yeah.
How does this field operate? Because I can tell you
a little bit of
firsthand,
perspective
if
taking.
you don't know that on a set, there's a lot of
not a lot of tolerance for that.
yeah,
Okay.
it's very low tolerance, especially on the actors to production side.
Okay. Well, good to know. If I'm ever on a movie set, I'll make sure and follow cue.
That's just my experience. But again, it all goes back to, putting yourself in other people's shoes, building empathy.
Yeah.
Which is another thing Gateway definitely taught me.
So tell me more about that.
So I was, as a middle schooler, and me being on the spectrum, there's a bit of a rigid mindset. There's, if if I'm in an argument with someone, or I want things done a certain way, or something is not going my way, there's a rigid mindset that's like, no, I hate the circumstances. The world is out to get me. This sucks. Life's not fair. The whole very natural, normal things to feel.
Yeah, for the record, I know adults who have a hard time
Oh yeah, no.
being a little flexible with plans changing, etc.
Yeah. But
yeah, certainly when you're young and you're learning about the world, it gets tougher.
Yeah.
For sure.